Hello, welcome to the California District 4 training on how to be a game coordinator. This is a very important role that helps facilitate excellence in our youth umpires during the Tournament Champions and Future Stars tournaments. Through this short training, we'll give you what you need to know to fulfill your role as a game coordinator, what support you need to give to the youth umpires, and how you will make sure games are played consistent with the rules and regulations of Little League Baseball. So we're going to talk about what is the game coordinator, how will you support the youth umpires, and what are expectations for youth umpires assigned to Tournament Champions and Future Stars games. As a little bit of a background, traditionally Little League and California District 4 did not allow for all youth umpire crews on postseason games. So what that meant is we required at least one adult umpire over the age of 18 on every game in all of our postseason tournaments. That meant for over 200 games, we needed to have adult umpires involved in the games. In addition to that, Little League International has set rules for the International All-Star Tournament, which requires at least one adult umpire on every game. We know over the last several seasons that many leagues have increased the number of youth umpires that support their regular season program. And we want to continue to provide opportunities for those youth umpires to grow in their skills, judgment, and leadership ability by taking on games in the postseason tournament. Probably most importantly and most significant is the significant decline in the number of volunteers from the adult members of local leagues who come out to umpire. Despite the need for umpires and despite the opportunity that having adults working with youth to provide mentoring and coaching, generally we find a significant lack of adult participation as umpires. This complicates assigning games in the postseason tournament. So in the last few seasons, to meet this issue, we now allow youth umpires to be assigned to some games without an adult umpire. I'm going to cover specifically what those games are. In the Tournament Champions minor softball division, and in the minor baseball, which are AAA and AA baseball, in the Tournament of Champions, and in Future Stars only, where we have an 11U and 9U baseball tournaments, we can have a game where only youth umpires are assigned. We still need to have high quality umpires working our games to provide the best opportunity for our players. So the qualifications are youth umpires must be experienced in the level of play assigned. They must have worked regular season games in those divisions. Generally, in most leagues, youth umpires do work in the minor levels, so this is easy to accommodate. Youth umpires must have completed the tournament umpire training on procedures, rules, and items of emphasis. This training is provided each year in advance of the tournament, and it is essential that our umpires attend those trainings. A qualified game coordinator must also be assigned to all the games which have only youth umpires. So this is where you come in as the game coordinator. And game coordinators will be a volunteer adult from the league who are providing the umpires for that game. It's important to note that games are assigned to leagues across all of the games in District 4, and many of them are not at the home field of the umpires that are assigned. A quick list of 5 bullets of what are the game coordinator roles right out of the Little League rulebook. 10. The plate meeting between umpires and managers is attentive to field action during the game, monitors action of all players and adults, judges whether play should be suspended and when it can be resumed, and has authority to disqualify anyone for unsportsmanlike conduct. So if you look at these 5 bullets, these are things which we hope our youth umpires, through their experience and judgment, can handle throughout the game. However, in the past, there have been some situations where youth umpires were not mature enough or did not have the experience or decision-making capability during critical situations to make the right judgments. So Little League has now made the requirement of a game coordinator. This is all in Little League Rule 903D. And these are regular season rules which we've applied to the Tournament of Champions and Future Stars. So for those of you who come from leagues with extensive youth umpire programs, this should not come as something new to you, because during the regular season, where you had games with 2 youth umpires, you should have had game coordinators supporting those youth umpires throughout the regular season. So what are the duties of the game coordinator? If no adult umpires are used, there must be an independent adult game coordinator. Note independent and the word game coordinator. You are there not as a member of one of the teams playing. You are not there as a fan. You're not watching the game and encouraging the participants. You're there to support the youth umpires. You participate in pregame with the youth umpires, field inspection, pregame meetings with managers, tournament directors. You need to be present at the game, throughout the game, from before the game starts through the end of the game, and you can only be on one game. Many of our fields have 2 fields at a location, but you can only be a game coordinator for 1. Your job is to help the youth umpires cover what's going on inside the fence. So you're going to monitor the in-game participants, umpires, players, managers, and coaches. You, as a responsible adult, you will be the sole judge of when play must be suspended by weather, darkness, or field conditions. This judgment does not go to the tournament director. Recommendations can be made by the umpires, and you should encourage them to provide you with data on weather or darkness, but you must make decisions. And you also have the authority to disqualify game participants for unsportsmanlike behavior. We often think that our youth umpires are capable of managing adults when their behavior starts to go outside of the sportsmanlike norm for a game. It's unreasonable to expect our youth umpires to be able to take on an adult who is aggressive and displaying unsportsmanlike behavior. You, as the other adult supporting the umpires, have the authority to do that. What are you not to do? You're not an umpire. We encourage you to be the umpire and go on the field and be part of the umpire crew. But if you are the game coordinator, you are not an umpire. You cannot make decisions. But you can help the youth umpire resolve questions if they come to you and ask, did they make that call in the proper way? Don't encourage them to give them rule information. Your job is to encourage them on the decision process if they come to you for help. Don't allow a manager or coach to come to you and ask that you involve the umpires. If that happens, have the manager go to the umpires. You can't interrupt play by going onto the field. You can go on only if the plate umpire has stopped play and has asked you to come on to help them. Generally, we'd like you to do that from outside the fence, working with the umpires. You can't remove spectators, people who are outside of the fence. That's the role for the tournament director and their staff. And I said earlier, you can't be game coordinator for 2 games at the same time. Let's talk about 3 quick situations. Situation 1, manager questions the youth umpire about a judgment call. A judgment call, strike ball, fair foul, safe out, obstruction, interference, judgments. What should we be encouraging the youth umpires to do here? Umpires should get together to discuss the call. The game coordinator should encourage them to do so. They should only discuss what the manager is asked about. The game coordinator, you need to let the umpires make the decision and feed that back to the manager. If the youth umpires are not sure what to do, continue to encourage them and give them direction as to how to get to that point of providing feedback on the question the manager asked. Situation 2, manager coaches are vocally or physically showing disrespect to the umpire calls or intimidating the umpire. Game coordinator should monitor this to see if youth umpire takes steps to silence a manager or coach. If not, the game coordinator must immediately step in and ask the plate umpire and then engage both umpires in a discussion on what to do to stop behavior. If behavior does not stop, the game coordinator should disqualify the person involved. It's very important to understand that vocally or physically intimidating a youth umpire is against the law in the state of California, and it is inconsistent with the Little League safety program and abuse awareness training that all of our volunteers have gone through. Intimidation, bullying, or otherwise verbally abusing any participant in a Little League game is against Little League policy and needs to be dealt with immediately. Situation 3, manager formally protests a decision. So they actually go through the process of telling the umpires that they believe that an incorrect application of the rules were made. The game coordinator should again monitor to see how the youth umpires are addressing the protest. And then you can help them in defining what the actual protest is all about for handling by the tournament director. Again, you do not handle protests. The tournament director handles protests. We want to cover just a few of the items that we're asking our umpires to do when they go and umpire a game in Tournament Champions or Future Stars. I want to quickly cover this so you're aware of it and you can support the umpires. You should be meeting with the umpires prior to the game when they arrive to begin preparing. We want umpires to inspect the field upon arrival to ensure that it's prepared, confirm that it's fully lined with all the lines that it's supposed to have. Review ground rules with the tournament director. Look for situations. How do those ground rules get applied to the actual field? Look for any other open situations. Prior to the game, only the manager and coaches are allowed on the field, only 2 coaches. If more than that, the umpire should tell the tournament director to remove adults. Players with bats must wear batting helmets. A catcher fielding infield outfield practice must wear a catcher's helmet with dangling throat guard. Player warming up a pitcher must have a catcher's helmet with dangling throat guard. These are all things the umpires need to be aware of as they are safety requirements, and we all have responsibility to ensure safety for our players. During the game, again, manager and only 2 coaches. One adult must be in the dugout at all times when there are players in the dugout. So if the team is on offense and two coaches are in their base coach position, and the coach in the dugout needs to leave to go talk to the manager, to the umpires, then the coach closest to the dugout needs to leave the coach's box and go to the dugout to supervise the players. Umpires should be monitoring that. Coaches and managers must be inside the dugout during live play. That means they're not sitting on buckets. They're fully inside the dugout. Gates are closed and will remain closed during play. As a point of emphasis, managers and coaches by rule must be in the dugout or in coach's box during the game, unless allowed to come onto the field by the umpire when that umpire calls time. A manager may request time for only the following reasons: to meet with one of their defensive players, to meet with one of their offensive players only once per inning, to visit an injured player, and to meet with an umpire to appeal a decision that was made in conflict with the rules. Once again, managers, coaches, and players are not permitted to show verbal or physical objection to any call by an umpire. During the game, an additional safety expectation is that we're monitoring equipment safety. Equipment is no longer inspected prior to the game by the umpires, but during the game, umpires can monitor the type of equipment brought into the game by players. Keeping an eye out for cracked, dented, damaged bats, other illegal bats who aren't properly logoed or have pine tar or other sticky substances or bat grip assist devices, helmets that have been painted or have too many stickers or cracked. Anything that is defective or illegal must be given to the tournament director. Same with catcher's gear. When a catcher comes out with their protective gear, that is the only thing they have that prevents injury from a pitch ball or a foul ball off the bat of the batter. Umpires should be monitoring the condition of this equipment as they monitor the catcher taking warm-ups in between innings. Again, anything that's broken or illegal must go to the tournament director. We expect our umpires to manage lineup changes. Because we have continuous batting order in divisions in which youth umpires are going to be umpiring, they only really need to be recording certain changes: pitcher changes, catcher changes, injured players. Pitch count should be monitored and the score should be monitored. These things there's a place for these on the lineup card. And umpires should ensure they keep track of that and pass on to the official scorekeeper the changes so that they can have it in the official scorebook. Again, we know that in regular season, many of our youth umpires do not keep a lineup card, but we expect them to keep lineup cards during the tournament so that the game can go smoothly and any situation that needs correcting is documented on the lineup card. We want our games to be quick so people aren't out for 3 hours watching a Little League baseball game. A 6-inning Little League game should be over in 90 minutes. Help those youth umpires by keeping the game moving, limiting warm-ups of the pitcher to no more than 1 inning, which is 1 minute, which is the rule, or 8 pitches. The catcher has no right to any warm-up players. It's only the pitcher. So if the catcher doesn't come out, we don't give any more warm-ups. Tell the pitcher to warm up with the third baseman. And base umpires need to be working with defensive dugouts to encourage the manager to get their players out. During game action, don't let the base coach come down and pick up discarded bats. Tell the manager to have a player with a helmet get those. Don't let base coaches retrieve foul balls. We don't want multiple balls on the field. and substitutions between innings. Get managers to make those promptly, not waiting till the inning is ready to start. Cell phones. No cell phones are allowed on the field. If you see a manager, coach, or player with a cell phone, tell them to put it deep in their pocket and never bring it out again. So how will our youth umpires find out about games and other procedures that we expect them to follow in preparation for the game? There's many things we want to do. The game is tomorrow, so everything starts today. We're checking our email for game assignments. We're looking at the District 4 website for the games. We're contacting our partner, getting our uniforms clean, and reviewing the game information. What level am I doing? How many umpires are there? What are the umpire mechanics? They need to arrive 1 hour before the game, bring all their uniforms in case their partners don't show. And once again, contact your partner through the cell phone number. When they arrive at the game, they are the first umpires to find the tournament director, confirm your assignment, check for parking, ask if partners have already showed up, when is the pregame, any other special situations. So you as a game coordinator should be there in advance of the umpires or with the umpires as they travel to the game. This is one thing we can encourage you to help them do. Umpires need to have a pregame meeting. This is just a list of a few things they need to make sure they're covering so that they know what to do during the game. They need to make sure everybody understands the rules that we're playing by and that everyone's properly dressed. They go to the field together. They stay together at all times. 25 minutes before the game. Be professional, smile, have fun, walk the field, and watch the teams in warm-ups. There will be a pregame ceremony. Game coordinator does not participate in the pregame ceremony, but typically this includes introduction of the players of both teams, some sort of announcement of any league officials, teams that are there. The umpires will be introduced by name, not representing a certain league, but representing District 4. Then the league may play the national anthem or have the Pledge of Allegiance, and might include the Little League Pledge. Umpires should be at attention behind the batter's boxes, facing the flag. And as a reminder for umpires and all of us who wear hats, when we're putting our hand over our heart for the national anthem or the Pledge of Allegiance, it's our hand that goes over the heart, not the hat over the heart. There'll be a pregame plate meeting. This is a short list of things. This plate meeting should last 2 minutes. Most of our youth umpires are not experienced at having plate meetings just because they don't do it during the regular season. A typical plate meeting will be run by the plate umpire. That plate umpire will introduce the partners. They will get the lineups from the home team and the visiting team, the lineup cards, all parts together, checking them for last name, duplicate numbers, confirming pitching restrictions, anything else, and asking, most importantly, are players properly equipped for Little League Baseball or softball today? The manager must answer yes. The lineup cards are broken apart by the plate umpire with a copy given to each manager, one to the scorekeeper, and one kept by the plate umpire. If you as a game coordinator want to participate in the plate meeting, you're welcome to do that, although I think this is a great opportunity for our youth umpires to show growth and leadership responsibility without interference from another adult. Between innings, we want our umpires to be away from teams, managers, coaches. So base umpires in the outfield, plate umpire on the foul line facing the team coming to bat. When the game ends, the umpires are to get off the field. Don't stand around, shake hands, do other welcoming with players or spectators. The game is not over till the umpires have left the field of play. Go to the post-game location, then have your post-game, as we already talked about. Send a game report to the district UIC. California District 4 has umpire uniforms requirements. Each league has provided their umpires with uniforms. This is a generally accepted one. The important thing is that all umpires in that game will look the same. We want our umpires to wear shirts, pants, and cap. Shorts are not allowed. We would also encourage them to use the Little League patch on their umpire shirt. So we've talked about what is the game coordinator, what are the expectations for our youth umpires before, during, after a game, how are they going to find out about games, what are the standards for showing up for a game. So now let's briefly review your role as a game coordinator. Here's some key points. Remember, you are responsible for the success of the youth umpires. There's no one else at that game except you that will be solely responsible for that. Support them, but let them umpire. That's the only way they're going to grow and improve as an umpire. Stop any abuse of youth umpire immediately. Any abuse, as said before, is against Little League policy. Simple things as yelling at a youth umpire to intimidate them or just to get them to change a call when a manager uses their assumed position of authority is against Little League policy. Physical abuse must be addressed without hesitation through the removal of that participant. Be there for the youth umpires when they need you before, during, and after the game. Help them carry out their pregame, postgame, and do not allow a youth umpire to be left alone at the field. I want to thank you for volunteering as a game coordinator. I hope you will find it a very rewarding role, and you'll take great joy as you watch our youth umpires participate in the tournament champions and future stars.